Okay, post number 5 in the Gun Show June Explorations Month. We are going to do an exercise for the triceps that we could do completely lying down. Thank God, because I'm tired and I'm super full from dinner after Encore's graduation. So we're going to take it to the floor, although I do have to show a standing wall version that's a little bit easier. But we'll start with the mobility, which is also going to be on the floor, which is just our angels done on the floor. So it's just 4 angels. So get down fully on your back, and the biggest cue here is to press your abs down so that you can flatten that lower back right up against the floor, so you cannot put your fingers underneath it. And then we're going to take the elbows down, the back of our hands down, and you want to take a minute here to feel the difference between the 2 sides. So my left side, which is forever my bothersome side, and I'm going to get this handled on a serious note this month if it kills me. My left side, the back of my wrist has a much harder time hitting that floor. It kind of will arc up, and actually not being able to place our wrists on the floor is very common for a lot of people. It is an issue. Everybody needs to work on it. But you want to have your elbows down, forearms down, back of your hands down, and keep pressing your belly to the floor as you take those arms and spread it out as you push the hand up or away behind you. And eventually you want to make sure that, see if you could keep that elbow and forearm, okay, all the way on the floor the whole time. But if you should come off the floor at some point like I do, you have 2 options. Go back and find that in range where that starts to happen and hold it there before you come down and reset. Or even though your elbows are coming up, go ahead and push it all the way up just to get that nice stretch. The whole time pressing your belly to the floor, not having this gap, okay? So we'll just go through a few repetitions here, about a minute to 2 minutes. So the 8th grade graduation, a lot of the kids were so wonderful, but I'm just going to use the set of kids that I saw here as just a small subpopulation of the teenage population at large physically. Okay, so I did notice that quite a few of the kids were exhibiting pretty bad forward shoulder posture. Now that makes perfect sense, right? If the kids are growing up at the computer with the devices, with the phone, okay? They're growing up with it at an early age. Their bones are forming. Their skeletal system is still growing and much more flexible. They are, just as prone to be hunched over at this stage and age. So I think doing this type of mobility drill for kids and teenagers is all important, right? That should not be something that gets overlooked. Remember to keep pushing your belly to the floor. The other thing with the kids who have a extreme shoulder posture, forward shoulder posture, is that, at this age, there's a lot of awkwardness, right? And this forward posture is not only due to computer use, but because it's a way of protecting themselves, right? So for those reasons, so important for the teenagers. So if you have kids, young kids, have them join you at least on these mobility drills. I'm sorry, my voice is already going. All right, that was your mobility drill, the floor angels. The exercise is called side lying push-ups, okay? So it's for the triceps. So we are doing one side at a time, okay? As the name indicates, we're going to lay on our side. Knees are stacked over. I prefer that the legs are bent like so versus straight. I will show you the difference. First, let's demonstrate. First, we're going to freaking lay down. Oh, thank God. All right, from here, we're going to take our bottom hand. Okay, so this hand here, we're going to give ourselves a hug. So go ahead and grip that shoulder. So keep everything tight, okay? Hug yourself as tightly as possible, close as possible. This hand is just your supporting hand. The working hand and the working arm is the top arm. So in this case, my left arm. I want you to place that hand in front, again, close to your body. See if you can actually start off in what's considered the harder position, which would be your wrist is below this elbow, okay? The reason being is that if we place our hand up here, which is a little bit easier, we have a tendency to scrunch the shoulders up if you don't have that under control. So just take that out of the equation and start with the elbow place or the wrist placement beneath this line of your elbows, at least a little bit, okay? So from here, I want you to engage those abs. So press those abs back just like we did on the floor angels and press into this bottom hand, full palm. Press, 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 okay, to come up, all right? If your knees kind of hover like this, try to work on keeping that engaged. Your core strength is going to help. Okay, so once you're up here, see if you can fully extend, okay, so that you're not hunched over. Fully extend before you travel down. Again, working your triceps on the way down, back to starting position. Now, if you did it straight late, okay, what happens is you have a harder time fully extending that working arm at the top, and we want to get that full extension, okay? So if your legs, your bent legs, either hover the top one or they come off, that's okay. You're still working your triceps. You should feel it intensely in the tricep, but, we'll start below here, but at least that's something you could also use as a marker to work on. So you get a little bit of an additional ab bonus. Remember, every ab exercise is an every exercise is an ab exercise if you're holding good form. All right, if this is difficult for you, and then you would switch to the other side. If this is difficult for you, you have several options here. You can go ahead and use the elbow on your supporting arm to go ahead and also help you up at least to a point, okay, before you extend. Okay, so go ahead and use that elbow as like a tripod. Sorry, I cannot talk. Don't forget to do the other side. Now, if that is difficult, too difficult, it's supposed to be difficult. I hope you realize that right now, but if you can't do it right now, then you can do this in bed. In fact, everyone could perform this in bed at least once, because we're all getting up in the morning, right? So just remember to switch sides, every day, so you'll get at least one. But you can do it in bed because that push of the bed is going to take off a lot of that strength requirement, but you'll still feel it, right? Because no matter what, when you come up here, you're locking out and you have a part of your weight supported in order to do so. Oh, let's do the burnout. So we're going to stay here with the same exercise. So once you get to a point where you're, a few reps away from failure, so don't go to failure unless this is the only exercise you're doing all month. What you want to do is focus. Okay, here we go. Set up. What you want to do is focus on the slow ascent. So 3 to 4 counts, and then you could just kind of let yourself, cheat your way down. Put the elbow down first, and then sort of gently plop down, okay? So you focus on a slow ascend on that one, 3 count, okay? So you would couple that. So I'm gonna show you the other version to make it easier, which is to take it to the wall. take it to the wall. So imagine if we're laying on our side, right? As sort of the starting position, except we have straight legs here. We're going to do the same position. We'll take our bottom arm, which will be the arm that's close to the wall, okay? So step away about 6 inches to start, and then just readjust. So hold your shoulder here, take your working arm, which is the arm that's facing away from the wall, and position that start about elbow length, okay? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to push away, and you're going to end up rotating out a little bit in order to try to fully engage that arm, okay? So push in and out. Now the closer you are to the wall, the easier. So to make it a little bit harder, if that's too easy for you, step away from the wall. Okay, I'll show you from this side. So now my working arm is the arm that's close to the wall. I'm sorry, the working arm is the arm that's from the outside of the wall, but take the inside arm, wrap it around your shoulder, take the outside arm, palm against the wall, lean in, and press out. Okay, lean in and press out. So you'll end up kind of rotating and bending your knees a little bit in order to get this bodily rotation to work around the position of your triceps. Okay, now you could also add the burnout portion when you're doing it on here as well by doing the same thing, by going, taking like a 4 count down. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, and then just sort of push away, okay, and reset. So, let's repeat this for the people who are doing it against the wall. Remember that the outside hand is the working arm, the inside hand hugs the shoulder, and you will rotate and bend the knee that's closer to this wall in order to get your body to come close to the wall and push away. Now the outside knee gets bent a little bit, okay? And you have sort of this rotation. Push into this hand on the wall. Okay? So that's your modification. It still works. As long as you're feeling it in the tricep and as long as it's a huge challenge for you, that's all that matters. All right, you could work up through the progressions, or you could stay here at whatever level seems to challenge you, and then continue to challenge yourself with additional reps before you move on.